I'm flowing man. I'm flowing man. You wait a second for the camp and outside the anime. And I will sing when I was late and I've been seeing my man. When I can stand and be the same, and I can bring the way. You wait the way, the man, up the sand of me. I'm flowing man. 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 Well, now let's sing. Man, flowing man. I'm flowing man. I'm flowing man. I'm flowing man. I'm flowing man. Flowing man, yeah. You went to sing a long time, you went the same away. You went to swing whenever need, and then don't run away. But I can find the main way, went to send the main way, and up and send the way, up and leave my way.
Austin, you are live.
Hey everybody, welcome. It is Takeover Tuesday. This is the Acoustic Shop and I'm Austin. Thanks for joining us,
Those
man.
are all three correct things.
These are all facts,
These are
undeniable.
all facts. Oh,
Man,
yeah.
thanks for joining us. Tell us where you're watching from. Yeah, this has been
Please
an
do.
awesome summer so far for us here at the shop. I hope you guys are having a great summer as well. Hinckley, what do we got? What do you want to fire off with today?
All types of stuff. Let me just make sure that our mics are pretty good on the volume side. Okay, I think we're good. Let's see. You know, there are some people in here who have already told us where they are watching from. Clint says hello from Arkansas.
What's up, Clint?
He was up here. He was in this chat pretty early this morning. Thank you very much for being here. Mike Lee says hello from Texas.
Hey, Mike.
Received the 1945 D18 that we had. Sounds amazing. And a great guitar for the Martin Decade Wall. I heard about that.
Yes,
So he's
yes,
doing
you got
a
an
Martin
awesome guitar.
Decade Wall.
So
That's
that's
an
very cool.
awesome collection statement. Love that. Mr. Faust says, woohoo, I get to see this one. Sometimes people are like, you know,
You know, it's
at
the middle
work
of the
or
day. We
something,
have busy
yeah.
lives. You know, we do record
get
these,
it.
so don't forget to subscribe, and you can watch at a later date.
True, true, true. Vince, welcome, welcome.
What's up,
He
Vince?
was in here early too. Tress, welcome. She said the weather's about to get crazy over in Kansas. True, true. But on a bright note, it's about to get crazy here too, of course, because I think that's all coming our way. But on the bright note, still riding high from the Alison Krauss concert last night. All I can say is wow, very cool. Very, very cool. I know the Chapmans went to that concert, not obviously that specific one, but they went to like a Kansas City one, and then one of them went to the Arkansas one.
We had some customers
Yeah.
in earlier who went and saw him, and yeah, I mean, just
Yeah.
a magnificent show. Everybody who's gone to be able to see him has given us, you know, raving reviews, and of course that band's one of the best. So if you still get a chance to see him, go out and see him.
Yes. All right. So the first question that I see in here, Eddie from Belgium says, "What string gauge would you recommend a beginning guitar player, if any, one that would hurt less on the fingertips?"
And that's a good question, and this is awesome. I mean, talking to a guy from Belgium, man. You know, we're here in Springfield, Missouri, so the heart of the Ozarks. This is very cool. Thank you guys for watching. That's a good question. I think ultimately the guitar kind of sometimes might ask for a particular gauge, but whenever you're looking at, hey, I want something that's easy to play, something that's comfortable without sacrificing tone, because that's always kind of part of the juggle, right? I mean, you want to get the best sound you can, but also comfort playability. So definitely a lighter gauge. 12 to 53 tends to be something where I'm kind of like, this is the middle of the road, a great place to start. If you start to feel like you want to go with something that's a little more comfortable, but not necessarily, lighter, so to speak, you can look at different materials, even elixirs and their coatings or whatnot. All these things can have an impact on how the strings feel to you. But ideally, you just want to make sure that you find something that's going to be easy for you to press down. For some people, that may be a 12. People love 13. So it really is player preference. But I would suggest starting with a 12 light gauge string, and then take it from there. You know, maybe try a silken steel or a little bit different material as well that will give you a little less tension. But yeah, it's such a player preference. But yeah, my recommendation is usually start with a 12. And I do this with guitars anyways, just when I get a new one because it's a good bass string to start with.
If I could ask also, I'm going to be brutally honest, it's kind of hard to avoid the fingertip pain. It's just something that you got to push through, honestly.
It is an honest growing pain.
It's worth it, yeah.
I mean, I don't think our fingers are used to pushing down little tiny slim metal pieces for long periods of time.
Just not naturally.
And as you progress in your playing, you will notice your calluses start to you know, appear, and after years, they're just kind of part of you. So your fingers will toughen up over time.
All right, I'm going to burn through some of these. I saw a few comments up ahead with a couple more questions. I'm going to say hi to everybody. Everybody is telling us where they're watching from, which is really cool. Cool. Rick, it's hello from Bakersfield. Kelly from the Netherlands. So a couple more international viewers. Mark from Denver, of course, like usual. J.R. Birdman as well from Mount Rainier. Welcome, welcome. John Washburn, Kansas City area. Stephen Mooney, he's a Missourian as well. Okay, next one. So this is the next request, if we could get to that while I'm going through some of these. Let's hear a used black L50 2500. I don't know.
I know what guitar is.
Okay, Jonas knows what the
Jonas
guitar
is on the trail
is.
to see if we can
So
find
he
this one for you in the meantime.
is going to see. Bulldogger says, hello all. I'm itchy. Ticks suck, literally and figuratively. True.
Yes,
Thank you very much,
quite
Jonas. Okay,
literally.
Jonas is going to go next door to get that guitar that you requested. Lee is tuning in from North Carolina. Welcome, welcome, as usual. Let's see. Al from Durham, UK.
Very cool.
Eric from the Detroit area. Very cool.
Motor
Peter
City.
from San Diego. Another usual suspect. Bob, welcome, welcome. Let's see. James in the chat. Welcome. The one that's standing right there,
James?
yeah. Tom from Cave Creek, Arizona, welcome. Dave from Pennsylvania. J Top checking in from Southern Ohio. Love the D18 that I got from you guys a couple weeks ago. Thank you so much. It's awesome to hear stuff like that. Chris, hello from Outer Banks, North Carolina. Vacation time, super cool. Let's see. Tomas from New Mexico.
Oh, I love New
Jim, welcome as well. Rick would like to hear the Ambertone 0028.
Man.
Do you know if that's something that is over here, or is that also next door? Okay. We'll check that out. Eric just got a tone guard for his mandolin, really likes it. Tone guards are essential for a mandolin. Tell you what, I'll
where you
ask
put the guitar?
Jonas. I'll ask Jonas about that 0028 whenever he gets back. He's good at sniffing out where all the guitars are.
He knows where they're all at.
Since this is a good question to ask, Austin, what is your favorite guitar in the store right now?
This is kind of a loaded question. I mean, we have a lot of guitars. I have some that I like for different reasons. Personally, right now, my favorite guitar in the store are these three. Simply because these are going to make the greatest impact in the world whenever they leave our store.
Good answer.
Do you want me to
Good
kind
answer.
of segue into
I think
this, or you
that
wanna save
that would be a good segue. We do have the guitar that Jonas just grabbed for us from a request, but we will definitely get way more in
These
depth on
three are
those
my
breed
favorite in the
labs.
store right now because of the difference they're going to make. That's my
Good
answer.
answer. And we will talk about those in just a moment. So that looks awesome.
Look at this cool thing.
It's a 48.
I'm being told by Jonas, in case you didn't know, this is a 48 for the viewers out there. Yeah. It's not 2048 yet, yeah.
It could be. You don't know.
Very cool.
So yeah, this guitar is slightly older than I am, and in better condition. So this is an awesome guitar. I haven't seen this thing yet. Super light, obviously, as they should be at this point. Man, very cool.
All original.
And Jonas is whispering as well that is all original, which is really cool.
Yeah, you got some checking on the neck. Very cool. And really, it doesn't have a ton of wear. I mean, I have guitars that are this millennia that will look worse than this, but very neat. This thing's cool. This thing's neat. This is absolutely different than any guitar I've ever owned. I'm not a big vintage guitar guy. I was just a player. Just put me on stage and watch me go. But every time I get a guitar that's different than what I'm used to, it kind of pushes me down different avenues. And immediately sitting here playing this, it's telling me to do different stuff than what I typically would do. A very cool guitar. And so yeah, that's a side note. But if you guys are ever looking at guitars and it's like, man, it's really cool, not something I would typically try out, I want to encourage you to try them. Whether it's a smaller body, whether it's something vintage or something more modern or just different than what you're into, I think you might find musically you'll get more out of it than just buying another of the same thing.
Nice.
But this thing's awesome.
All right, before we get to the donation guitars that we'll talk about in just a moment, we actually do also have the other 0028 that was requested.
Oh, sweet.
Via the stream. So we'll check that out too. And then we're going to answer a couple of questions too. So Delane is asking, do mandolins fit in a case without removing the tone guard, specifically the Eastman MD515? Just using my knowledge and recollection, sometimes they can. I think for the most part they can. Jeremy, did you hear that one? Will a tone guard fit in a case with the mandolin? Like on it still, it should. All of yours do?
Was it
Okay,
the
that's what I was
515
thinking.
in particular?
Yeah, he's asking about a 515 in particular. I think that case has some good space. Okay, yeah. So it should. Jeremy keeps like all of his on there, so yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty slim profile. I mean, they're just, pieces of metal. So I believe, to Jeremy's point, there should be enough padding in there to where they'll be able to absorb that extra metal.
All right.
So 0028. I really like their finish on this. The herringbone juxtaposed against the darker burst, I think is just really classy. Kind of helps it to stand out a little bit. These things have great sustain. That's one of the things that since we've gotten Martin in and being able to see him more and more, I love just striking a single D or something, just listening to the decay. These things have great sustain. Yeah, I think they're doing a great job. And you can't go wrong. I mean, this is a classic profile, right? The spruce and the rosewood giving a really powerful attack. But it's not overbearing. You know, this platform really kind of helps give it a little more finesse than just being like a smack you in the face note. These things are great. Yeah, very pretty guitar.
All right, we can go ahead and move over to the Breed Loves now if you want to.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the question was, what is my favorite guitar in the shop right now? And obviously we have a lot of beautiful guitars, but we like them all for different reasons. I chose the Breedlove organ concerts that we have here because these are a part of our Guitar for Vets promotion. Our friends over at Breedlove helped us with donating 3 awesome instruments for an auction. And so these are on our website right now. If you go to our homepage and scroll down, you will find Guitars for Vets. And as of today, it looks like we have raised enough for 30 guitars. And in conjunction with that, on that page, we also have the auction for one of the 3 Breedloves. These are all organ concert models. 2 of them are all myrtle wood. The one without the cutaway is the Earth Song. And then this one on the end has got the spruce top with the myrtle wood back and sides. They are all beautiful, wonderful guitars, but why they're my favorite is because every dollar that is goes into the auction for these three instruments, 100% of them will go to Guitars for Vets. And just as a side note, I've worked with other charities in the past that get guitars into hands of either veterans or youngsters who maybe couldn't afford an instrument. And what they'll do is they'll generally just deliver the guitar and with hopes that they'll play. But Guitars for Vets goes well beyond that, in that they actually have a program where they get in and they learn to play guitar. They, at the end of this program, kind of at the graduation, they receive one of these instruments that you guys are helping us to raise. So they actually get the instrument, and then they kind of try and pair them into a community of other vets. So as musicians, we know when we play with our friends or family, that's kind of where the magic happens. I mean, it's fun playing instruments anyways, but when you connect in a community with other musicians, that's where the real magic happens.
Do you want to hear a good analogy that Jeremy said on the podcast? Because also, by the way, guys, later this week on Saturday, we're going to have our podcast out that features an interview with one of the members, Nigel, of Guitars for Vets, and it was a really, really good podcast. Jeremy's interpretation was, it's like playing baseball by yourself versus playing with a team. It's a lot more fun with a team.
That's a good point, man.
I also pulled up the bidding right now if you want to give them an update on where each of these are at. It looks like some of them are at 1,000 right now, so...
Yeah, they're doing really good.
Yeah.
Now, these are all great deals. Again, these are all organ concert guitars, so you have an opportunity to not only get an awesome instrument, but to have a huge impact on veterans while you do it. So again, this is why this is my favorite guitars in the shop right now.
And I have those links in the description to donate to just a direct donation to Guitars for Vets, as well as bid on some of these guitars.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Now I do have a second favorite guitar, if we have a moment.
Sure, why not?
Just to point it out,
ahead.
because I don't know if you guys know this is in the shop. We've shown it on a few videos, but this should absolutely be in somebody's collection. This Bedell is a Brazilian and Addy combo, and this is the Seed to Song. This guitar is really special. It, to me, it's one of the best sounding guitars in the shop so far as having just a very defined note. The Brazilian has got a low end presence it's almost got like subtones or something. This Brazilian in particular is awesome. It's just super articulate. The lows are there, the highs are there, the note separation. Feels like I'm playing a piano. I mean, if you play piano, you sit and you strike a piano and that whole thing vibrates and you feel the low notes, you feel the highs, you feel this instrument when you play it. This is one of the most magnificent instruments in the shop. The Seed to Song by Bedell, it's one of my favorites.
Good pick, Austin. All right, let's see. So on the question side of things, Rick is asking, who requested the 0028, he's asking,
Yeah.
Is the 0028 larger than the neck on the 0028? Sorry, is it larger than the new 25 D18?
I don't believe so. I believe they're both the modern low oval profile, and yeah, they feel the same. I'd want to back to back just to double check, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really much different at all.
All right, let's see. Looking at stuff.
Of course, when it gets to neck profiles, those are always unique, right? Because I'll find some thicker that I like, I find some thinner that I like, and it's just really unique how different profiles you kind of tend to gravitate to or not.
John says, I wish that you could get the Adkin L36 12 fret from Canterbury. I don't know if that's a specific Adkin, but I'd like to say that if it is something that we can order, let us know we can order it.
I mean, Adkins are our buddies, so
Yeah.
if they're willing to ship it to us, we could probably order it for you.
Chris is asking, Bourgeois Dread, question mark.
Yeah. My answer is yes! Exclamation
Yes.
point.
Love that. Is there a specific one that you're looking for, or just wanting to see some?
Well, I think that, just to speak to a little bit of the Bourgeois, I mean, if you haven't been able to play him, I think that get out there and try and play him if you can. Dana Bourgeois sounding of the tops, I mean, he's the Mr. Miyagi of it. There's just something special about the way that he can make the top respond. Now, again, I find it kind of like the Bedell's in that it's got a very strong note to it, very articulate, good note separation. So if you want that really, kind of, as we say, modern, really clear notes, Bourgeois is definitely a guitar you should look at.
Mike is asking, LSH. We have not gotten in another batch of the Eastman LSHs, but I know in July we will be expecting them.
Yep. Rumor is they are on their way. As with anything that's imported, this year has been kind of dynamic, a little bit ambiguous, but we are hearing that those should be getting through port before too long, so hold tight, those will be here.
He was kind of referencing, asking Bourgeois LSH Dread versus Husson Dalton LSH Dread. I don't know how much experience you have with.
I've sold some Husson Dalton in the past. We're not a dealer, so I haven't really been able to sit down and compare them side to side. I would want to do that to really give you a real clear opinion. But I can tell you the Bourgeois are
Is
awesome.
the used one still there? Do we have a used?
We had a used Husson Dalton here. I haven't.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know whose that is.
Do
Yeah.
they have it in the case over here? This guy? I was thinking they had it back in the case. Let's find out. Let's put this
And then
to
do
the
we have a
battle.
Bourgeois in here?
I think we do. We did.
We might be able to do a proper comparison.
Yeah, man. Large sound hole. It pushes air. It's loud. This is really well balanced, though. I really do like the way that, it's not overbearing. You have a really good balanced tone coming out of that. So, and then let's see, we got the Bourgeois handy. Oh, it's back in the back. See if I can dig this out.
Well, you got it.
That's a tricky one. Yeah, those are different. I mean, there's some different bracing going on there. They're both good. I think this one may have a little bit more attack on it, but I think the Husson Dalton may be a little more round in its note. So yeah, both awesome, but different builds for sure. But really pretty.
Nice. All right. So the next request, since we're already in here, Tomas is asking to hear the Bourgeois LDBO, the blues one.
The blues one.
Yeah, the tuxedo blues. I know it's not called a tuxedo. That's what he said, but
Is that what this thing is?
Yeah, I forget what it's called exactly. Blues something.
This is the just blues, all mahogany.
Well, it's just blues.
Blues, all mahogany. Is it blues? Oh yeah, that's bluesy. Yeah, this thing's cool. All mahogany usually to me gets kind of muddy. But this still has a high end to it. this thing's pretty cool.
If anybody wants more information on this one, fun fact, we did a review on it whenever we had it brand new in the shop years ago. But if you really want to blast to the past, you can go check that out. Peter is wondering why the fingerboard extends over the sound hole on the LSH style of guitars.
You know, that's a good question. I just got my first large sound hole last year, year before, and that was a question I never really asked other than I just figured it's the scale. In order to have the full fretboard and to enlarge the sound hole, you either have to cut off the fretboard or, you know,
yeah, it's more
I mean,
just
you just have to trim down the fretboard, but we don't want to do that. You lose notes.
Yeah.
You lose that access to the, you know, so far as being able to play up there. So I assume, again, I'm not a builder, I'm just a player, but
That's
I assume
just
they
what
just
the
didn't want to trim the fretboard.
Tony Rice, Clarence White one looked like. They went that direction as opposed to going lower. I mean, you'd be hitting
Right.
braces.
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
did
I
that,
don't think
so.
you can get into the bracing back there. So,
So that's
my
they did.
assumption.
Whoever it was that cut it originally. There's a
Oh,
lot
looks
of
cool.
debate. I don't even know. Okay, that's that. We have
ready
Jeremy
for Jer?
on standby. I think it is Jeremy time.
I've got my
yeah.
good friend, Jeremy Chapman, I'd like to introduce you guys to. He's learning how to play mandolin a little bit, so let's encourage him.
I'm going to pause for one more second because this question just popped up too. Tress is asking, is the 0018, that apparently we have one listed, a 2025 or 2024? To my knowledge, everything that is a 2025 should say new 2025 model in the title. To be 100% sure, you should give us a call and we can tell you for sure.
I believe so. I think we're out of
0018s
all
that
of
are
the older
25s.
models, and should
The
have
old
only the
ones,
newer
yeah.
models. But yeah, if you see something you're just curious, just give us a shout. We'll be happy to answer it for you.
Yeah, to actually double check that, it might not have it, but because to my knowledge, I think that we're only stocking 2025s. So yeah. Okay,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Jeremy Chapman.
he needs your microphone.
I gotta take that from you.
Let me pull it. I gotta get it out of my pants here.
Tuck it down.
I'm
in the
muting
front.
it. Do. Ooh, you're gonna wait? You're gonna wait to reveal it? Okay. It's okay, I have you muted while you're rattling it and stuff, yeah.
Probably sounded really good.
Yeah, no, that probably sounded crazy. That's okay though. Oh yeah. Trent's doing some great miking up, yeah, action footage. Okay.
Am I on? My mic on?
No, you were good.
Hi guys, welcome back to Takeover Tuesday. I've been gone from the Takeover Tuesday for a while, but it is good to be back. I've been in the office working diligently or traveling, and it's good to be back. And I have special reason to be here today, Hinckley. Something really spectacular has happened. We've got our very first Weber mandolin delivered since 2020. I think was our last one that we got in stock. So 4 years in the waiting. Ryan Frisch contacted me last week and said, I'm finishing this up. He's been perfecting the whole process from the build, the deflection, his workshop, and now finished booth that he built for the mandolins. And we have the first one out to the acoustic shop in the last 4 years. It is the Yellowstone Weber mandolin, maple back and sides. I think it's an Adirondack spruce top on that one. It might be Sitka spruce top on this, but. I need to tune it up, but very excited to have this in. It has been a long time in the making, literally. We do have a custom pronghorn that he is jumping on right now. That is the next one in our build schedule. We also have a road dog on order. He said now that he's kind of got the finished stuff worked out, he is ready to really jump in and start building much quicker. Again, the things we like about Weber, the really sharp relief they did right there for that the scroll. They do kind of this little nudge there, make it very custom to Weber. They got the nice W in the back of the neck heel. The Weber custom compensated bridge with a little tool that helps you to raise and lower that, that fits on those little nuts on there. Beautiful workmanship. Brian's doing some cool stuff. He's got the spec sheet with it, but he also, for a really cool add-on, is adding It's got photos of the build process as well as
Do you want me to hold
specs. I got it. Look at this. I got this.
Okay, you got it.
Specs in this nice Weber flash drive.
Whoa,
so
that's
on
kinda
that little
cool.
flash drive, you have the specs of this particular mandolin, the deflection rating, as well as photos during the build process. Really cool. We're going to try to see if we can get some of those on the
really
website.
cool. Yeah.
But yeah, very excited to get our first Weber mandolin in 4 years. A
Did you say
legend in the
that-
mandolin world.
Is that one a bitter root or?
This is a Yellowstone.
That's a Yellowstone one. Okay.
This one just got unboxed yesterday. It came in early yesterday, so I think we got to open it last night. And I can tell already it's very balanced. It's going to need some playing to really open up, so we're going to throw it on the Dr. Herringbone and get some of that, get it feeling like a mandolin. But it's got very even tone, which is what I looked at. We've talked about this before. When I picked out my Sandbush model from Gibson, I looked for a mandolin that just, the whole way up the spectrum, there's no like hot spots.
Because the bass will always.
The more you play it, the more bassy and full it gets, but it never really develops the clarity. So you want, if you don't start with clarity, you're never going to get that. It doesn't come in later. And you can hear all the way up the neck there. It's just like really clear and crisp.
All right. Do you have a price? A couple questions for the price, and I don't know.
It's
if we
so
know
new,
yet.
and we haven't got a mandolin from him yet. He did not send us the invoice yet. He just mailed us the mandolin. I sent a request before this live stream. Hey, can we get that? So no, we don't have the price yet. He is sending that to us. We hope to get this on the website soon. If you are interested in knowing the price before we get it listed, give us a call. We'll take your name down, give you a call before we list it online just to make sure it's available. Because this is the only one in the world right now that's a brand new Weber mandolin. It may be for some months. So if you've been waiting for a Weber Yellowstone, beautiful instrument built up in Bend, Oregon. Ryan Fish, he bought the company from Two Old Hippies, which you guys know we love. Tom Bedell just recently retired from there, but Two Old Hippies purchased Weber back in like 2016, 2014 maybe? Yeah, 2013 or 14. Bruce Weber's been building the mandolins for a long while, moved it to Bend, Oregon, and then Ryan Fish was one of the head builders for Breedlove when he worked there, building Breedlove mandolins, then moved over to the Weber team and has been just took the mantle and did a great job with it. And then COVID hit, they stopped all mandolin production because the guitar boom was going on. Tom said they could build 4 or 5 guitars for every mandolin, so it made more sense to move all their mandolin builders over to building guitars during that period. Once they got through COVID, Ryan reached out to Tom and said, hey, I'd like to buy the Weber brand and build it out of my own workshop. Tom sold it to him, and Ryan went to work building a workshop, getting all the tooling. And this is, I think he might have had one more he's released since opening the shop, but this is the first one we've gotten since then. And I'm very excited about the prospect of getting these in the shop on a regular basis now.
Is there significance to the W? It's just for Weber.
Yep. W, and Bruce used to have kind of the Celtic knot look to the Weber design, and they had this Celtic knot that was on all of his mandolins. Yeah, it's just the W for the Weber.
Sure. It's just probably like a James tail piece,
here's
right?
the Celtic knot right here.
Piece. Yeah.
That's the Celtic knot. And for a little while, Tony that builds the tone guards had a Weber tone guard that he built for Weber. That was this
that's cool.
Celtic knot on the back.
Oh, that's
very
pretty
cool.
sick. That's really
so there's
cool.
some of those floating out. He
Yeah.
doesn't have any more of those anymore. I asked if we can get those. He said no.
Oh, man, that's
but
super cool though.
there's some still floating out there on the internet somewhere.
Does Breedlove still build mandolins?
Nope, they ceased building mandolins, I think, when Tom bought the company, and then he got the, they might have been building them until he bought Weber and then moved to more standard traditional design. We've had 3 or 4 of the Breedlove mandolins in the shop. They are a completely different beast. They sound completely different. Went for, just like the guitars, Breedlove went for a different design style and different tonal properties that they were looking for. Where this is more of a traditional F5G style build. With some of Bruce Weber's, who, if you guys know, Bruce was working for Gibson, also Flatiron mandolins for a long time. Really was the head of the mandolin division back in the 80s, 87, 88, up in Bozeman, Montana. And then started building Weber mandolins on his own, and then teamed up with Two Old Hippies, and then he is still building some things up there in Montana. He does some fly fishing and does like fly fishing tours, but also builds mandolins and does mandolin repairs. There's a little Weber history.
Whoa.
Anyway, I'm excited. That's really cool to get that in finally. Thank Ryan for sticking with it. I know it's been a struggle. It's one thing to be a builder and a luthier. It's another to set up your own shop, learn how to do the business side of things, take on loans, trademarks, all that sort of stuff.
Learning everything.
Learning everything.
Yeah.
Who would do such a thing?
Love it.
Very excited.
Who would?
Start a business,
Start a business, oh my
especially not
gosh.
having any kind of business background or knowing what they were doing,
Yeah.
and relying on YouTube to teach you your MBA.
Yeah. Okay. So since we have you here and you're Mr. Mandolin Man, is there any other mandolins that you kind of want to talk about? I mean, we don't really head in there
I like that
often.
I'm Mr. Mandolin Man.
You are Mr. Mandolin Man.
Hey,
And if I could ask a little bit too,
Mandolin
if you wanted
Man.
to plug the podcast that we have coming out on Saturday.
Yeah,
That was a really cool discussion.
very fun podcast that we did with
Nigel.
I just drew a blank. I was going to say it, and then right when I was about to say his name, I drew it.
Nigel.
Nigel with Guitars for Vets. He is part of
Fisher.
their team there, but actually went through the program. It tells a great story about being a vet, so the PTSD that he suffered, as well as a physical brain injury from a IED. But just kind of telling that whole story of how important the different forms of therapy have been, and what Guitars for Vets is doing for veterans suffering from PTSD or traumatic brain injury. So really cool conversation. I got to know his story, but also the story of Guitars for Vets and how you guys can help out either in your local chapter or by donating guitars, or monetarily, or just time. Like you said, if you have some kind of specialty, if you're an accountant, or even you can file papers, they're always looking for any help. But it was a really inspiring story, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. That's our podcast coming out this Saturday, is it, Inkley?
Yeah, it's coming out on Saturday.
Saturday for the Acoustic Shop Knows People. You can watch that on YouTube in a video format, also on Spotify in a video or audio format, and on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you get podcasts, it should be available. It's the Acoustic Shop Knows People. If you haven't listened to that yet, we have some great episodes. We had Sierra Hull, Alan Mundy's been on there, Tim O'Brien.
I really liked your top 15 album.
Top 15 favorite albums.
Where you guys each
Me,
ranked
John, and
some.
Jason pontificate about the future of the industry and trade shows and how much they mean, and
That was another one,
all
yeah.
kinds of really cool conversations. We have we've talked with Jerry Lambert with Bedell and Breedlove.
The Greg Rich one's a good one.
Greg Rich is a great story. His
Greg was
history
a
at
good
Gibson, and then development of Recording King guitars and the lower mandolins. Some really cool conversations. If you haven't listened to that, it's probably my favorite thing that we do as a media team, because
Yeah.
I get to just listen to these stories and actually tune into the podcast when I'm driving and like,
Yeah.
oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, Lillian Warbin with Elderly Music was on
That was
the
also a
last
really
one
good
too.
one.
So that was great for me as a business owner to kind of get inspired by their story and what they've done. They were officially the look, I just pulled the mic out.
Wow.
Excuse me.
That's going to sound crazy for 2 seconds.
I'm sure it will. Guys, listen to this. Silence.
Okay.
Clip that back in there.
I'm going to say hi to Kenneth
Hi.
real quick. He's joining in shortly. Thank you for joining in, Kenneth.
Anyway,
Alex say would
Elderly,
be all over this, but he did a quick hi and bye. I'm sure he's going to watch later.
the one time it was for the
The one
mandolins and
time.
he didn't tune in.
Nah.
Yeah, Lillian and Elderly won the official Small Business of the Year award from the Chamber of Commerce, the National Chamber of Commerce, which is a pretty huge thing. That's a major, I think they get like a $50,000 award and listed as the America's Small Business of the Year.
Yeah?
Guys, I'm still really impressed with this tailwater mandolin. I played this in quite a few live streams. It's the first one I've actually played. They contacted us and said, hey, we'd love you to try one of our mandolins. Let us know what you think. Very impressed. That sells for $19.95, so a really good price range for a lot of mandolins.
Oh, yeah. All right. A couple of questions.
Sure.
Do you still have access to the Octo mandolins that we reviewed some time ago? Yes.
Yes, I got a few of them here. He just contacted me with KR Strings, Keelan did, and he's got another one of the exotic, what was that?
Was it the birds or the quilted?
Quilted maple. He's got another one asking if we would be interested in that. I haven't really got a chance to talk to John, so I got to get back to him. So this is has the rosewood back and sides with a Sitka spruce top. I don't know,
Yeah.
Sitka.
It should be Sitka.
But really cool. The Octalindo, a flat top guitar body with the octave, mandolin, and scale. Gives it a really clear octave sound. So mandolin's going to be a little bit, an octave mandolin's going to be just a little bit more bass heavy, I think, maybe more mid-rangey.
Yeah,
This one's a lot more balanced.
Somebody is asking here an octave mandolin as well. If you could sample one of those also.
And they'll go with this bourgeois octave mandolin. So an A-style bourgeois octave is going to sound a lot more mandolin-like. It's not quite as big a projection, or maybe it's more of a tinny projection. A bit different tone, still the same exact tuning. So it's a GC or GD AE, but an octave lower. But in that Octalindo body, and this is the mahogany back and sides version, it just sounds a little bit more, a little louder, fuller sound. Either one I think is better than the other one. They're just different. So if you're more into really the mandolin tone, a standard octave mandolin works great. This gives you a little bit more guitar-like tone to it, which David Benedict did a video on it. It's just a lot more balanced and full sounding. Really like
Next, how do you fix a loose string after tightening it twice before playing if it's not staying tight?
So is it actually coming off of the peg? Is it just not, is it slipping in the tuning
Machine?
peg itself? Like,
Yeah.
when you feed it through there, does it just keep sliding back out? Is that the question? Because once you get enough winding on it, it should have enough friction that it keeps tuning. If you keep tuning it and then it lowers again, two things could be happening. At the very end of it, those wraps that make the loop, I can't really see one on this mandolin. Let's see if we got one that's got a standard tailpiece. Do we even have one right now? I think we got that lower. Okay. So what could happen a lot of times.
We'll see if he answers as well.
All right, I just dropped that. These windings here, they make a loop and then they just wrap it around numerous times. That little knot there can start sliding down so that it's just kind of the string's slipping out of that knot until it gets kind of to the end of the loop. That could be what's happening. Otherwise, if you just didn't have enough winding on that top and it's not grabbing, we did make a really good video on 3 different ways to string your guitar, right? What is that what it's called? And I did the locking mechanism,
I think it was 4.
where you can feed the string through one time, wrap it underneath there, and then pull up, and that locks that string in. So you can do it. I've done it literally where a string will break, and I only have like this much left over on the end. I feed it through there, wrap it around backwards, and I just have a tiny bit sticking out. Once you do that, it basically wraps and holds that string in place so it can't slip. Watch that video. Go to our YouTube channel and search for restringing.
It's like if you look up like string change.
Yeah, string change your guitar or something like that. I went through 3 different processes for changing your strings.
I think it was 4 or 5.
This is why you feed it up your shirt.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm so unprofessional.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next question, and then I'll see if he says anything else.
I'm gonna put this in my pocket.
Okay.
So
Mike is asking, do the Octalindo makers make a Brazilian viola, which is apparently like a 10-string guitar?
I don't think they do. Right now, the
think
only thing they're
they'll be
doing is the Octalindo and the Mandolindo.
Yeah.
They are working on an archtop Octalindo, which is going to be coming out soon. We should be getting one of those. So it'll be more like that archtop body, but like a guitar body archtop version. But no, I haven't. They're not doing anything quite that.
Is that the
unique.
$500 Velour? Yes.
This one is at $699.99.
Okay,
So
well,
this
there you
is the LM590MS. It's got the satin finish on it. They are hand carved top and back on these. Pretty good option for a mandolin. We've gone through our review of both the Lohr and Eastman, and there's some scenarios where the Lohr wins out, some where the Eastman wins out. But in that price range, to get a F-style mandolin, bound top and nice burst on it, really good option for you. If you're looking, I think Eastman is going to be at $9.99 now for the 315. So a very good contender in that price point.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Jeremy, are you excited for the wide nut mandolins that are going to be here next month?
I am, if they ever get here. I'm getting skeptical if they even made them.
They
I think
should
it
be
was
here
a
next
myth.
month.
They're just tricking us all. No, all the tariffs and stuff put a giant stop on anything coming in. And then now that that's kind of been settled, the shipments are out. And the wide nuts, I think we had probably about 10 of them on special order from the NAMM show. That's dwindled down to about 6 or 7. I know we've had some people just cancel because it's been much longer than they anticipated. But I am excited about that. I played the one at the NAMM show and before the NAMM show in Anaheim at Eastman's workshop. I think it affects the tone, just having that slightly wider, beefier neck. Gives it just a little bit more bassy tone, a little bit more mass on the headstock area. I'm excited to have those in. It's going to be a really good, a new addition to the Eastman mandolin lineup, which hasn't had anything except for in the PCH was the big rollout they had. And then before that they did the bursted 300 series that with the pickup in on the 315 and 305E, and also the Octave E. So those were the last big entries into it, but those were kind of, people have been asking for the wide nut mandolin for years from Eastman, so this is probably the biggest thing that people have been requesting.
Dude,
and the nut is exactly this wide.
Is that true?
No, this is a mandocello. So. That would be weird.
Like, there's no way. Why are you lying to them, Jeremy?
Just tricked you guys. Just tricking.
Okay. Curious, has Guild ever made a mandolin? Because they do have arch tops.
I don't think so.
Have.
I have never seen one if they have. Larrivee built mandolins for a while. We had one of those in here. Martin built mandolins for a little while. It actually was when we were up there at the Martin at the Martin workshop for a while in the 20s and 30s. It was one of their biggest things. Was they had one of the whole building sections of the buildings was just for the mandolin building. I didn't realize they did that many of them because I don't come across them that often. They did the bent top, so it was more of a flat top, similar to the PCH mandolins. I don't think they ever did like the full violin style build that Gibson came out with. So a slightly different style of mandolin. Trying to think of some other weird ones that used to be made. There's been a few people that you'd be surprised. Breedlove was,
I was shocked about that one.
Regal made a mandolin, but it was more like their steel guitar body mandolins.
Okay, John really wants you to know that you're the worst host ever. So I'm sorry, I'm just the messenger.
I'm glad he's back from vacation, everybody. We got
Stelling mandolins you put in here. Yeah.
We did have a Stelling mandolin that also broke in shipment.
Really?
Yeah.
Wild.
And I think that ended up, was that the Jerry Rosa repair? No, that was the Larrivee.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the one that broke. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have had the Stelling in as well. Collings makes great
yeah.
mandolins, but I was just thinking of some historic ones that you wouldn't think of as mandolin builders.
Yeah. Stelling's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're
Are
good.
there any other questions?
Do you have
Guys,
I
are
see
you
no
excited
other
to have
questions.
Weber in here? Are you a fan of Weber mandolins? What are you looking for in the? We want more mandolins. I can't get them. Again, that was we have to wait every 4 years to get another Weber. Northfield, if you're out there, give me a call.
Yep, he's waiting.
Love to talk to you.
For upcoming news, though, some cool stuff will be at Starvey. That's actually going to happen.
Starvey Creek is going to be the
soon,
weekend after the 4th of July.
Yeah.
We got some special news with David Greer possibly making a visit to the shop.
I think that John already talked about that. Yeah,
that will be the week after Starvey Creek.
I don't know if we're talking about the special guests that are coming this week and next week.
I'm not sure if we're talking about that yet either, so I won't talk about it until Jason tells me I can talk about it.
Okay,
But we do have some special guest guitar manufacturers coming to visit the shop. We're going to be filming some footage and
we'll see if John will say yes
with
or
all
no.
that. I can say for sure that Alvarez will be here next week. We're going to be doing some content with those folks. A secret one, I don't think we want to announce this weekend's until we kind of get some content and talk about what we're doing there. But yeah, Gibson. I'd love to have some Gibson mandolins.
You guys can all
if there's anybody from
speculate.
Gibson out there, please send me a mandolin. We've only got like 18 of them on order, but anytime, guys, whenever you're ready, we're waiting. I think we got 2 of those F5Gs on order already, or special order by customer. So.
Oh yeah, I guess John already has talked about all these things on New Guitar Thursday.
All right. So Maiden Guitars is coming this Friday.
Yep.
And we're going to be learning about the new series of guitars that they're building. We're going to be filming a bunch of content with them and learning more about the brand and telling you guys all about the experience. It's a busy few weeks coming up.
I know, right? It's about to be insane.
Starry Creek is going to be a big setup. We're going to do a big booth. The same one we did, the big tent that we did in our Small Business Saturday sale. It is a 30 by 40 tent. We're going to have the booth set up. We're also going to have a stage doing some workshops, catering mostly to kids, but also any adults that would like to have some guitar, mandolin, banjo, fiddle workshops. And also just after hours shows where we're going to do some
John's already
live music karaoke where we'll be the band and you guys, we'll get some special guests up there to be bands.
There you go.
And you can come up on stage and sing a song.
John's already advertised barbecue for those that know the passwords, the secret words. So there's that. I'm excited for that.
Are we talking about barbecue?
He's in for Starvey.
Oh.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
No, well, I was talking about just us having the big booth and tent set up, but John says he's going to make barbecue
He says
for
that
everyone that attends.
he advertised barbecue. He shouldn't promise that.
Anyone who wants to come to Starry Creek gets
So he
barbecue.
said.
John's going to be making it. It's probably just going to be hot dogs.
What is the natural mandolin above you? That is the Bourgeois M5.
Bourgeois M5F, that is the fully torrefied top, back, sides, neck. So it gives it that
He's
nice
taking
yellow
it back.
honey
He's
look.
not going to make barbecue for anybody.
Yeah, I knew he was lying.
Yeah. I signed him up for it.
So yeah, the beautiful Adirondack spruce top, fully torrefied, built to the specs of Dana Bourgeois by the team at Eastman. So it's the collaboration that came about when Eastman and Bourgeois teamed up. The main purpose of their partnership was to build a affordable line of Bourgeois guitars, which is the Touchstone series. But Dana said something I've always wanted to do, but just didn't have the bandwidth or the shop space to do was build mandolins. I've had these designs in mind for years. Can you guys do it at Eastman? And I was there when he was getting early prototypes, and he was meticulous. He's like, nope, I don't like that dot on the 7th fret. Nope, that's not the right look for the flower pot on the headstock. And he just wanted it, this is the way I wanted it built, and they came to those specs. Gorgeous, gorgeous maple back and sides, Adirondack spruce top, and fully torrefied.
John wants to remind everybody that Eastman prices go up July 1st.
Yes,
So
Eastman.
that's a thing.
Eastman has
also.
officially raised prices. All of the stock that we have, we had to pay an extra 10%. I think was the final tariff balanced act. But prices will officially go up 10% on July 1st. We have not raised prices yet, but on July 1st, that's when they officially start enforcing the new price rule, making sure nobody's selling below that. We've kept prices down as long as we can. And so if you guys are looking at Eastman and you're really, I want to get that, this is probably the best time to get it for that 10% discount. Otherwise, on July 1st, they will go up. We are doing special financing for Eastman. We're doing, I think, 18-month interest deferred financing. Also, and it might be a little longer with Eastman, I can't remember for sure. We're doing that with Martin Guitars as well. And everything in the shop, 18-month interest deferred financing. Close mandolins, we've been doing a lot of these recently. So this is the unidirectional carbon fiber material, A-style, so a fully carbon fiber mandolin, guys. So almost indestructible, you can hit stuff with it, hammer and nails.
All right, that's that. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, keep an eye out for more Weber mandolins coming soon. If you're interested in that one, give us a call. We'll try to get the pricing all situated soon, but it will be on the website shortly. Very excited. Thank you, Ryan Fish, for getting us the new Weber mandolin, the Yellowstone. Can't wait to see the pronghorn when you get that finished. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for Shop Talk.
Later, guys. Shop
noon.
Talk. We'll be there. Bye-bye, guys.
I'll probably be playing that Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah.